Hello, everyone.
This is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen. Hey, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. We're going to go ahead and get right on into the topic, but first, a word from our sponsor.
This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hello and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. And as usual, we are just going to jump into this. So you guys see the title that I've got here, Holding On to Failure. And I'm going to talk about what that actually means. Our community as a whole has not been able to succeed over many generations. We still find ourselves peculiarly, I said it right, in the same or similar position that we've been for generations without necessarily moving forward in society as a collective group. Now, individuals among us have done exactly that. But as a group, we maintain certain types of dysfunction that hold us back from competing with other groups of people at the level that we're capable of. So what I want to do is jump right into what that is and why that is. And why that is the matriarchy in the Black community, or in other words, the gynocracy. Feminism has failed. And it has specifically failed Black women and the communities in which they live by damaging the key areas in both an individual and a community life. Okay? So, number one, spiritual value. They've damaged this by maintaining plantation-style doctrines. As I did a video about the gynocracy and the Black church, and you can reference that video, I'll see if I can put the link to that in the description box. I talked about the role of the Black church, and I broke down what was the function of the church. Here, I'm breaking it down even more to plantation-style doctrines. These doctrines have been upheld in the Black community in the same way that they were upheld on the plantation, and for the same reason. And by crippling the community at the spiritual level, it has severely weakened our foundation as a people. Because once you are spiritually broken or spiritually compromised to the level that we are, it's very difficult to first identify that as an issue and then understand what to do about that. Number two, the other way in which feminism, the matriarchy, gynocracy, or female leadership in the Black community has helped to destroy the Black community is health. Obesity and related health issues. That's probably one of our number one types of health issues. Obesity and all of the subsequent related issues that you can develop by being severely overweight. Not only that, there is a rampant, undiagnosed mental health issue in the Black community as well. These things go undiagnosed simply because of the stigma that we have against going to therapy and against seeking professional counsel and help to help us deal with our mental issues, our behavioral issues, our emotional issues, because, feminism tells you to be strong and that you don't need anyone to help you with your problems. You're going to have to be the one to resolve your own problems. And if you don't, too bad. Not to mention that with the obesity rate the way that it is, the children are now suffering various different health concerns. There are a lot of children who are being diagnosed with ADD or ADHD And also there are a lot of children being born on somewhere along the spectrum of autism. So I'm going to leave you guys to think about why that is. And we're going to move on to the next one. Family. How did feminism fail the family in the Black community? It broke the family, and it created multitude of single mother homes. Feminism broke the family by convincing women that they did not need their men and that they could move independently of their men. And the only thing that they would need is access to some form of finances where they wouldn't have to depend on a man for their welfare and well-being. Okay? So due to the teachings of the gynocracy and of feminism, families have now been broken. They have been relegated to not very important, especially traditional families with traditional gender roles. That is deemed now as not as important. No-fault divorces have allowed couples that committed to one another for life to go ahead and break up on any frivolous reason that they can think of and simply sign papers down at the city hall or wherever to go ahead and get a divorce after having children and after having a commitment without any penalty or anything to make someone reconsider divorce and leaving their spouse and breaking their families. We even have it to such an extent now where single motherhood is looked forward to, even with women that have access to more stable conditions, choose to do single motherhood based upon the ideals that feminism instills in them about themselves, about children, and about families. Not to mention the open hatred of men. Let's move on to appearance. Not caring or wishing to appear as another group. Not caring. I see so many of us in our communities not caring about how we appear to the world and what we say and what that appearance says to the world about who we are. Okay? So you'll come out the house. So many women I notice because I drive for a living. And they enter into my car in any condition. Usually, our melanated sisters are guilty of this more so than any other group. Coming outside with pajamas on, socks and house shoes, slides, bonnets, unkempt look, an uncleaned look, an ungroomed look. Okay, coming out of houses that when they open the front door, you can kind of see inside. All you see is darkness and junk at the front door. These are all parts of the appearance, or of trying to appear as another group. When they are glammed up, it is with a Eurocentric beauty standard that they have in mind when they go ahead and dress up. The long-standing attempt to look more European style in beauty, in hair particularly, and all of these types of things. So appearance is really downhill in our community due to female leadership, due to the gynocracy. Let's move on. Dwellings, consistent chaos and negative energy. Okay, now family and dwelling are two different things. Family deals with the people's interaction, and dwelling deals with the energy within the environment itself. And so the way in which feminism has destroyed and failed the Black community is creating these dwellings where there's nothing but chaos and negative energy. Nothing is going on in there with any type of structure, because we've gotten a broken family model where men are not really present in the home, whether there are children there or not. We find that a lot of single mother homes lack a lot of structure. And the reason why they lack structure is because it's women. We're not very good at creating the structure. Now, we may be good at sticking to a structure that's been presented to us, but we're not always all that good at actually creating a structure that works, okay, that brings and adds value to everyone's life that's in that dwelling or elsewhere. So when you have feminism at the head of your ideology, this is what everyone is relying on, that is full of chaos because women's default is chaos. Chaos in this case is simply the absence of order, okay? And then there are so many negative things happening within the dwelling. Abuses of various types and severity levels, neglect of various types and severity levels, not being in tune with her family, not being able to have her finger on the pulse of anything that's going on with the members in the family or the household itself. Unclean dwellings, places where no one would want to lay their heads. And even if it is clean, it's such a negative, toxic environment created within it due to arguments and so forth and so on, that the dwelling itself becomes a failure, a toxic failure. Okay. Mobility stunted through ignorance and single-mindedness. Because we've got women at the head of our community, mobility is stunted. Women have a tendency not to have a very wide world view, okay, because we lack foresight mostly, and we mostly rely on insight, but that insight is directed to us and our immediate environment and the people within our immediate circumstances and situations. Not very often do women go ahead and have this super wide world point of view that allows her to, or inspires her to move about the country or her city or her neighborhood and actually begin to do things that improve it, or do things that improve her situation or the situations of her families or the communities. All right, because what we have to understand is mobility is simply everything that happens outside of the four walls and the comfort of your home. So it's how we interact with the world at large, not just our small circle of people that we know or that we might be related to. Okay, because these households are single mother driven, most of them, they lack a lot of money and financial means to foster a better mobility. So we find a lot of our communities in the ghettos and the slums and the hoods of anywhere USA because they are female led, and females simply don't, even if they earn money, they're not necessarily looking or experiencing the world in the same way that a man would, that would inspire better mobility to start moving either up in the society or start moving around in order to have better access to the things that they need, maybe better access to schools, maybe better access to healthcare, maybe better access to family members, and all of these different things are stunted through ignorance. A lot of women just simply don't see the need to move around or to do anything different than what they've always been doing, because remember, women have a tendency to nest within their environment, and nests are stationary. Okay, nests are stationary. All right, so education, yet another way that feminism has failed the Black community. Education, consistently failing children, especially boys, undereducated parents. So we have a lot of parents who are undereducated. Maybe they did finish high school, or maybe they did get their GED, but the education that they received at school was so inferior that it left them undereducated and underskilled. Okay. Then we have an issue with consistently failing children, especially boys, because we will attempt to send our girls or give them the best resources or the best of what we have in order to move them forward and push them forward in education. Mainly, you don't want to have to rely on a man, so you need to actually be able to go out here and make your own money, and in order to do that, you need a better education. So the girls sometimes will actually get a better education just because of the push that they're receiving, but the boys actually have little black boys actually have a very hard time with, they struggle with passing grades. There are a lot of systems in the school that are working against Black children and Black boys specifically. And a lot of times the Black boys do not have the support system at home that they need to overcome the challenges that they meet in school, whether those challenges come from other students or come from faculty members within the school. And profession. How does feminism destroy the Black community through profession? Few careers and few successful business owners outside of beauty and entertainment. Okay, so again, our community is female led, so they're going to go towards things that interest them. Okay, so very few careers. Most of the women in our community have jobs. Jobs and careers are not the same thing. Few successful business owners. While there are Black women, female entrepreneurs, if they have any type of success, they're within beauty or they're within entertainment. Basically, if I can braid hair really good, I'll say that I'm a beautician and I'm a hair braider, and therefore I am an entrepreneur because hair braiding is going to be my business. Now, while I don't have anything against hair braiders, I'm just saying that to illustrate where the women go when they do become entrepreneurs. What industry do they have a tendency to lean towards? And it's something along the lines of beauty or something in entertainment. Either they are trying to be a singer, they're trying to be an actress, they're trying to, entertain the masses in some type of way. So our community is being damaged by this because these types of professions do not generate the wealth or the generational wealth that Black people will actually need in order to compete on the level that we should be competing as a people. Okay. Again, there are no men in the home, so therefore there's no true leadership where the men are saying, this is what we're going to do as a family. This is my profession that I'm engaged in, and this is how it's going to help myself. This is how it's going to help my immediate family. And hopefully this is also going to help our community at large, what I do. Usually women do not innovate in new industries or, anything of the sort. They're not really trailblazers when it comes to that. That arena belongs to men. Women will enter into some market that they feel comfortable in most of the time. Okay, leisure. This is a good one. How does leisure be affected by feminism in our community? It's detrimental. First of all, leisure activities include twerk videos and even those with minor children. I am now seeing a very disturbing uptick of videos where these so-called mothers are twerking and grinding on their own children. And I'm talking about children as young as infants. I saw a video on Facebook maybe about a week and a half ago where two women were holding up this infant. Couldn't have been no more than about 4 months old. And I'm assuming the mother, I don't know who it was twerking actually on the infant, but all over the infant, while another woman was holding the infant and laughing as if this were some sort of cute joke or a cute moment between a mother and their child. Okay, so the leisure that is being engaged in is not constructive. It is a very negative, destructive type of leisure that does not really add any positive value in any other area of their life. So we're not learning anything. We're not experiencing different cultures. We are not doing any of those things for leisure. What we're doing is engaging in all manner of debauchery for leisure time, which actually has a spiritual effect on people. What you do with your time and what you do with your free time especially has a spiritual effect. And last but certainly not least, how has feminism failed us in terms of wealth? Relying on government assistance for generations, no generational wealth acquired or maintained. So these entitlement programs, again, our community is female led. Those females have a tendency to gravitate towards any form of entitlement program, which includes Section 8 vouchers, SNAP benefits, TANF benefits, and all other sorts of, monetary benefit or what have you from the state that they live in. And this type of welfare is not used in order to springboard them into something bigger that they could be doing on their own or with their families. This is really used as a mechanism. This is what it is. It's not being used as a help to springboard. This is just being used as this is how we live. And we're going to keep voting in the powers that be into office that promise not to cut us from these things that actually go away from wealth building. Okay, and in this particular instance, I'm talking about financial wealth. It goes away from financial wealth building. Entitlement programs do not assist people on the whole with actually getting better opportunities and getting into a better financial position in their lives. It's something that actually cripples you the longer that you're on it. And it cripples your ability to move beyond this level of finances into another level of finances that actually makes you comfortable, where you want to live rather than survive. And so there's no generational wealth acquired or maintained. There is nothing, generally speaking, that these single mother-led households and families are getting this generational wealth. If she owned a business, was it successful enough to leave anything? Did she own a house that she left to her children? Did she own any property or assets or anything that could be passed on to her children that might actually increase in value over time? And this is why people like to leave their families' houses, because houses, as long as they're kept up, actually do not depreciate over time. They will appreciate, especially if the neighborhood around them experiences some sort of upgrade or gentrification. Okay. But then even when we talk about different areas of wealth of knowledge, a wealth of love, a wealth of positive interactions with each other, as you can go back and look at how each of these main key areas in life have been affected both on an individual level and on a collective level. Okay, so when all of these areas of our collective lives have been suffering for so long, is it a wonder that the Black community does not advance forward as other communities appear to do? And the main difference is this: we are female-led. And not only are we female-led, we are led by females who have a gynocentric mindset and way of being that self-perpetuates. All right? So, with all of that being said, here is what I would like for you guys to go ahead and do. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is some of the most unique content on YouTube, period. So you definitely should like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and go into the description box and please support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel, A-Game, by clicking the link for agameherbal.com. Go ahead and get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll see you guys on the next one.